Went to the local video store and found this movie to rent for 50 cents. Figured it'd be fun for you guys to watch a ranting commentary from me. Just, I guess I like to torture myself. Here's what people have to know. I'm a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project from 1999. Huge. When 1999 came around, we didn't have internet, so no one at school talked about movies unless it was a new Adam Sandler film. So, but I was always heavy into movies and what's coming out, and I saw this trailer for this movie. Never seen a film like that before. Found out a long time after there have been movies like that before, like Cannibal Holocaust to a point, 84 Charlie Mopik, among others. But at that point, never seen anything like this. So I caught it on video when it came out around October. Had the VHS, loved it. Saw it many upon many times. Got the Blair Witch fever, where I saw the Sci-Fi Channel special, the later on the Showtime special, the Burkittsville 7, a diary which I still have, a Blair Witch diary, the comic book, um, and so forth. Now, Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows came out. I was very disappointed in that. I always thought there should have been like a big documentary on the film. I mean, I know there's something called The Woods that maybe is like online, but I mean like a full-blown feature-length documentary with current interviews with the cast, which I know the cast went through a lot of heat after the film. They took a lot of shit for the film, which, in my opinion, fucking sucks. Because I love the film to this day. To me, I think the film holds up. And there's been like a million found footage movies. A couple I like. There's a lot of bad ones too. But the Blair Witch Project in 1999, it still felt real. It still felt, in a way, genuine. I think its heart was in the right place. And it felt natural. And it felt... I would say the Blair Witch Project to me is the prototypical found footage movie. Lightning in a bottle. And then Adam Wingard says, let's do a remake. This was going to be called The Woods, but hey, it's Blair Witch. And it's a sequel, but it pretty much plays out like a remake. I've seen this film before when it came out, did not pay a dime for it, so you can figure out how I saw it. And I hate this movie with a passion. Being a fan of the original Blair Witch, to me, this is an insult. And I know but this sort of introduction before I get into it. I never understood why you would do this because A, either a lot of people hate the original, so no one's going to care about a new one, or B, the people who do like it, they don't want to see a sequel that's pretty much a fucking remake where it's a jump scare every 5 fucking seconds. And beat for beat play out like the original movie, only as if Michael Bay fucking directed it. And this director is a guy who's doing King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's 4 minutes in. I have a pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing shit. Which bloody disgusting is like the scariest movie ever. And what was the fucking word they said? Transcends, or it's a game changer. How the fuck is this a game changer? It's the 1999 movie, but shitty, with cheap jump scares every 5 fucking seconds. And this guy's never directed a good fucking thing, in my opinion. Following footage was assembled from memory cards and DVD tapes found near Burkittsville in the Black Hills Forest on May 15th, 2014. So they're showing footage from the first movie, which, if you've seen the first movie, you call bullshit on because some of this was never there. And considering we're with her the entire time, it's like, what the fuck? This wasn't in there. But of course, there's a new footage they have to put in there. That's why the voice is all fucked up. Like, they messed with it. Does they have to pan, and then it's like, oh, someone put this on YouTube, and it's footage that was found recently, so that we can get our Heather's brother character in the woods. But then you find out really what that is. But even, okay, if you've seen the movie, you know that that's really them, but it's a time warp thing to the Rocky Horror fucking soundtrack. But, so this is the brother of Heather Donahue. So he thinks after over a decade, his sister is still running around the fucking woods with her same fucking hat and the same fucking age? Like, Blair Witch Project, it was 1999, and they said it was like, what, 90, like a year later the footage was found. So, at least, what, 15 years? Because they said this was found 2014. So, I mean, 10, 15 years. And he thinks his sister's still out there in the fucking woods. What, is she singing Kumbaya? Like, a lyric every decade? See, my idea, if you're going to do a Blair Witch sequel, actually do a sequel. To me, this is what I would have the first shot of the film be. And this is nothing, just introducing these shitty characters. The first shot be someone's on the road. And you see feet or you see something. Then all of a sudden, I'll just wait on that. Because now they're showing footage from the original film. And this is bullshit because some fucking scream. Well, maybe they show the famous when the camera falls, either here or later on. You hear a fucking scream like creature, and that's bullshit. It was not in the fucking, and it ruins the moment too. And that's what a lot of things does. This movie doesn't know subtlety if it hit him on the fucking nose. But again, he thinks his sister's still out there after 10 years, again, waiting around the fucking woods. But at the end of what I was saying, first shot, you have someone on the road, walking by the road, or in the middle of the road. Dirty, muddy, scratched up, bleeding. Who is this individual? Hair down, you clear the hair over. It's Heather Donahue. And then people are like, what the fuck? She's been missing all this time. What happened? Where did you go? Right there, you breed in some intrigue. What's going to happen next? Will we see the other people? Is she possessed by the witch? Does she want to go back out there to face her fears? A la Ellen Ripley and Aliens? Like, you could go in so many different directions and already you have intrigue. But no, instead we have a bunch of fucking characters who are annoying as piss, as in piss in the wind. Of course, these people don't believe in stories of the Blair Witch. Uh, we see them playing fucking first-person shooter video games and recording at a bar, probably where the director got fucking drunk in order to make the fucking movie. And again, this is the guy doing King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's just fucking lazy. Like, you have the ability to do a sequel to Blair Witch, and all you really do is a remake. It's all these fucking movies, like Jurassic World. It's a sequel, but they're just remaking the fucking movie. Star Wars The Force Awakens, same fucking thing. even Terminator Genesis to a point where they literally have to go back to the first fucking movie. And then let's change stuff so we can reboot it so we can have, 3 movies which never came to be. Oh, the new Terminator is going to be produced by James Cameron. So what? The last good thing he did was True Lies. How many decades ago was that? And he's not even directing the movie. So this is all the guy that said Terminator Genesis was the best sequel since T2. And then a year later, oh yeah, the movie sucked. Because I lied. Hey, the black guy, but he's going to die. Well, it's true. But of course, it's a found footage film. 99% of them, everyone dies. But like the Blair Witch Project, it did it well with ambiguity. There was a mystery factor to it. Oh, here, you actually get to see the witch. Or so it was like, oh, it's not a witch, it's something. You still get to see something fucking stupid. And then we have a drone here. Hey, there's a drone. Yeah, the last fucking shitty movie I saw that had a drone was Poltergeist, the remake. This is like a movie made by people who hated the original movie. What do I mean by that? And all they're doing is just showing this fucking drone and how, and then they don't show that later. But it's not like they do a tremendous amount with the drone anyway. But what the fuck was I even talking about? This movie killed my brain cells already. Oh my god, I completely forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about. Oh, people hated the fact that you didn't see anything in the original. So here, let's show them as much shit as possible. In the original, they hated how slow it was and how quiet it was. Well, let's have a boom jump scare every couple minutes, especially when we get into the woods. Let's have tons of jump scare sound effects. People hated that subtlety. Fuck subtlety. Let's be in your face as if Michael Bay's dick is plastering over your nozzle. And I just like, okay, like your friend, if you. Here's another thing. This guy is going out there to find his sister. Pretty serious affair. And these other people, they come out and they're fucking drinking and having, it's a party. I'm like, you're going out to find a guy's sister to see if the sister is alive or dead. Why are you acting like it's a fucking party? As if you're going to fucking Mardi Gras. I know I'm cursing a lot, but this movie pisses me off, man. Because all it does is, for people who hated the original Blair Witch, they said, yeah, this movie sucks. And yet again, we could talk about how much it sucks. And then the people who do like it, it's like, wow, you put this money that you wasted on this project, and you give us a big special edition of the movie on Blu-ray, packed with features. Like, the Blair Witch deserves it. Again, I know a lot of people hate it nowadays, but hell, there's like a dozen shitty slasher films that have buttload of features. And this has a lot of making material back in the day when it got popular, and there's interviews all over this stuff. But I know, like, those original 3 actors, they went through hell. Like Heather Donahue, someone ran her off the road because they hated the movie. They went through a lot of shit, so I feel bad because I think they did a great job, and they didn't deserve that. But again, it's like, okay, if you want to go out to find your sister, just go out to try to find your sister. Why do you need a fucking party of 5 over here? And why do you even need to film it? Like, why do you even need to film it? Like, in the original, it made sense. They're doing a documentary. That's the point. Here, what's the point of the documentary? I guess to find his sister. But wouldn't you think that would get in your way of progress to try to find your sister? I mean, isn't that sort of more of a serious venture? And then people are joking around, but yet it's what I mean. You look at the story and you go, does it make sense or not? And this is like the sister fact, like having the brother who thinks his sister's alive after 10 fucking years. For what reason, I don't know. Just and they're like, why does everyone need a fucking camera? Why do you need to bring 18 fucking people with you? It's ridiculous to me. That's another thing about the original Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project, oh yeah, let's have the fucking same shot where they go backwards and they pull back from the car that they leave there. The same fucking thing right here. Where, oh, here's the car. This is the last we see of the car. Let's hold the camera there and pan back. The same fucking shot. Same goddamn motherfucking shot. And yes, I'm going to curse a lot. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I'm just pissed. I'm passionate about this shit. Like all this wasted money, you could put into better stuff with that money. Like a full blown documentary for fans of the movie. Hell, they do these documentaries on Pet Cemetery. They do one on Stephen King's It. What's the Return of Living Dead and Creep Show called Just Desserts. Do one on the Blair Witch Project. I guarantee there will be people who will be interested, myself included. New interviews about how they got fucked over and and that's another thing is that in the original Blair Witch Project, like I was saying before, they were stealing shots and it pissed me off. That's what I mean, remake. It's a sequel, but it's a remake. So, I mean, that's why I will least give Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows over this, because they try to do something different. I'm still not a big fan of it, but they try to do something a bit more than this, which is this close to a carbon fucking copy. But okay, in the original Blair Witch Project, it was ambiguous. Was it people out there fucking with them? Was it an actual witch? Was it redneck killers out there? And it was ambiguous enough you can make up your own mind. You could believe in the legend of the Blair Witch, or you could believe it was someone else out there, and there was no concrete answers. It was a question mark that worked well. And here, you full blown know 100% with no question it's a supernatural thing. While in the original, it was ambiguous. But fuck ambiguity with everything nowadays. Halloween. Why does Michael Myers kill his sister? I don't know. Okay, Halloween 2, which I like, it's his sister, but still, it's that, okay, it's his sister, but you're not explaining a ton of a lot of stuff. Halloween 6, Chris and Michael Myers. Well, the druids and the. Here's his cult. Prometheus. You have the original Alien, and you have the. What is that thing that something burst out of the chest? We don't know. Oh, Prometheus, let's explain. It's a albino looking tall son of a bitch who looks like a reject of the creature from the thing from another world from the 50s. or that animated Forbidden World, Forbidden Planet, whatever it was. The Forbidden Planet or something. But yeah, he does look like James Arnett's from Thing from Another World. It's an albino fucker. Oh, goodbye ambiguity. The guy explains shit. And what has it ever worked out when they explain shit? One of the only times I could think of that I didn't mind was 2010, the year we made Contact. Because I thought it was a well-made movie of Peter Hyams, you had Roy Scheider, John Lithgow. I thought 2010, the year we made Contact, was a good movie. That's the exception, not the rule. The telling stories that we already hear in the first fucking movie, or stories that either the two fishermen told, or the old Harry, the old one, the old woman told about this hairy woman, and then they're walking their bare feet in the water, and even I'm like, watch out for fucking glass or some shit. Put your fucking shoes on, you idiots. Hmm. God, how long am I even in this goddamn movie? 17 minutes too long. Why the fuck are you going in there with no socks or shoes? Fucking morons. You don't go into something with no socks and no shoes when you can't see the bottom of the fucking thing. And this is why. She fucking stepped on something because she's a fucking moron. You keep. Hell, watch a film called Rituals from the 70s with Hal Holbrook. That's a damn good one. And speaking of found footage films, yeah, 99% of them, everyone dies, but once in a while you'll find a movie that doesn't do that. I can't mention all those because it would give them all away. But I mean, there are a couple. I like As Above, So Below. I like The Tunnel, which is an Australian one. I like the Cloverfield Chronicle. I didn't mind Into the Storm, which is kind of found footage, but kind of not. This one called Afflicted is pretty interesting, which I want to pick up on DVD sometime. Um, and I think found footage films, even though there's so many bad ones, I keep wanting to see them because for me, when they're good, they're really, really good, and then when they're bad, they're so fucking bad that they give me a lot to talk about for a video. So either it's gonna be really good or really, really fucking bad. I don't know if there's that many found footage films that are just. If you think about it, people get really emotional one way or another. But yeah, she cut her foot. This won't come back later. This guy can't fucking make a tent to save his life. Which this guy's having a hissy fit. Fuck you, tent. Fuck the tent. Kick the tent. Yeah. I guess and that's supposed to be the comedy aspect of it. But yeah, it just bothers me like bloody disgusting. I think that's the website that says this is a game changer. What game? If you've seen the film, what game changing aspects do you see in the flick? Where in the film is a game changer? And yeah, I'm jealous because like those guys get paid to do this shit that reviews. So I'm jealous of them. I'm fucking jealous. Love to get paid for reviews. Would love that. But I do this as a hobby, so I don't. I would love that. Fuck, if they didn't call a fucking movie like this a game changer, then I can say what the fuck I want with any movie and not matter. This bullshit. Well, as it be as much bullshit as those guys, and they got paid for it. Now they have the drone looking at. What are you looking at the sky? Nice view, but what other than later on when the drone gets caught and someone has to climb their ass up? Like, do you get any real scares with the drone or any subtlety? Like, you see something in the distance? Again, there's another thing from the original, like they're cooking hot dogs and marshmallows on a campfire. And the old one, it was when Josh was singing the theme to Gilligan's Island. But the skipper was fat, though. I think what made those three people work, Heather, Josh, and Mike, they were casual. Like they were it didn't seem scripted. It felt natural. And that was because of the way they filmed it, the way the directors got them in there, and the rough look of the film. It just felt real. It felt like a home movie in a natural manner. I know people got annoyed by them. I never did. And they felt natural. Like these feel like Hollywood actors trying to be natural and failing. While Heather, Josh, and Mike felt like real people that were just going through the situation. And that's the one of the big differences between the two. And this is a prime comparison why the original works and why this doesn't. Like the original is how you do it the right way. This is a prime example of how you do it the wrong way. And if you like it, I would love to know what is it about this film you like. Does it bring anything new to the story? Or the legend of the Blair Witch? No. I mean, you see something that might be the Blair Witch, because what the fuck else would it be? Was it a fucking Gelfling? Was it a fucking Shadow Warrior? What the hell else would it be? Uh, Dealing with time warp thing, which fuck, you could assume that in the original, that things were being fucked with because they kept, they went in a circle, and you just go, okay, supernatural, it turned them around, or they just got lost. When the girl's looking, you see something behind her. Because people were mad when you didn't show something. So we gotta show something. Again, it's like this is made by people who hated the original movie. And I guess that's their rationale of, it's not the same movie. Look, we have 50 jump scares. And you see shit. So we're not the same. So I guess they got a point there, but it still feels like a beat for beat remake of the first movie, even though it's a sequel. Is that always bad 100% of the time? No, there's always exceptions to anything, but maybe she's using us to lure you out here. That's either a red herring or a boring, forbidding, forbearing, fornicating withdrawal of caffeine. Give a fuck. Again, you're looking for your sister and you're fucking around telling campfire stories and marshmallows. And yet, this whole trip I thought was supposed to be him looking for his sister. Don't you see, you know how my confusion sets in? Oh, look, they wake up in the middle of the night and they hear branches breaking. Wow, I've never seen that before. That didn't happen in the original, right? It's in the middle of the night and there's branches breaking. And they hear them continue to break. Oh, wow. Thank God you did a sequel to hear more of that. The story such, the acting such, the scares are just cheap ass jump scares. There's no atmosphere. There's no sense of dread. There's no ambiance. There's no. I keep mentioning atmosphere. Some movies worked with a slow build. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining worked in that movie. Session 9, it worked in that movie. Same with the original Blair Witch. You felt the woods were dangerous. Here, in my opinion, it's a hacked director. Because again, nothing I've seen this guy do has impressed me. Nothing. I can't say I truly liked a single full film he's done. I think he did the horrible wraparound in VHS, one of, probably the worst horror anthology I've ever seen. He did the one shitty store in VHS 2, which he also starred in with the fucking eye. He was a bad actor, and it was a the only bad thing about VHS 2 was his part. I say, take an edit, take his fucking part out, take the skateboarding 7 Bone Storm or whatever in VHS 3 viral, and put it in that. Because his story is the one that sucked in VHS 2. I keep repeating that. Just, you're next. The lead actress was fine. That's it. She deserved a better movie or a better writer and director. Maybe the closest was the guest, but really, that's because of Dan Stevens' performance. Like Dan Stevens' performance is to me the reason to like the film. And I don't like the film that much really, but Dan Stevens is really good. If you took out Dan Stevens, the hell do you have left in that movie? But again, I will admit Dan Stevens was really good in that movie. And here they're just looking around the woods with their flashlights, just like it was in the original. We have a bigger group because we gotta get more of a body count. I feel like Jamie Kennedy in Scream 2 explaining the rules of a sequel to David Arquette. The body count's always bigger. Number 2, Carnage Candy. Something about a tree falling in the woods. And I guess they're trying to do this suspicious thing about these two guys. Like, are they causing it? So I guess maybe there's at the beginning they're trying to make people believe or wonder, is it supernatural? Is it not supernatural? And then you find out it is supernatural. But I don't know. I never bought any inkling that these two were causing the whole thing or anything. I never, if that was the director's intention, that maybe these two people might be messing with them. Oh well, they wake up and there's a bunch of sticks. The Blair Witch twigs. Wow, I've never seen that. And yeah, again, we're just seeing the same fucking thing. Looking at the twigs, but it felt much creepier. And that's another thing that I realized in this one. the cutting is more rapid between the cameras, and that's because there's like 15 fucking cameras between these people. So, and like Blair Witch, it was like two cameras, the 16 and then one that Heather has. So it wasn't such rapid camera, so you could focus and linger and build up an atmosphere looking at these things. But it's going so rapid that it's like you look and cut. Well, you look at that one, cut. Oh, nope, can't cut. Okay, that's okay. I guess. Well, yeah. Okay, we're leaving now. This is just rapid fire cutting. It's like you have ADD. The movie has ADD. It's like calm the fuck down, movie. See, that's where they're going with the red hair, and then maybe this guy left the tape because he's the one carrying it. But again, I think because they pack it on so much. That's the thing with the red herring. When you pack it on so much, it's. I think that's one thing I think Scream did well in 1996. They pat the steed over against a red herring so much that it made me think, oh, it's not him. So then with the twist, oh, it was him. And then, oh, wow, there's two killers, because that's not the most typical thing. I thought that was made a little bit more clever. Here we have fighting among the group. Why would you? Okay, so these two characters, they just made even little sense. Why would you fake anything, but yet you want these guys to trust you? Why would you try to fake anything? It's like, yeah, we faked this. Why? They're not the noises, but I guess the twigs they faked. But they why though? Why would they fake anything? Of course, they lied because nobody's been here for years. They've never been out there. Oh, this whole thing with this like red herring was. Do you really need this? Like, I guess it's just to make the movie longer. I mean, it's not exactly like the first movie. I mean, it's not like Heather thinks Mike or Josh are doing this or something, but it still had the infighting like you did in the first movie. You actually thought Heather could still be out here. Why? Again, it's been over 10 years. What do you think she's been living on? Grass and trees? Like, what? It just makes zero sense why you think she was still out there over 10 years. Again, this. I don't know really at the end of the day what was the point of all this. I guess to say that's not an exact carbon copy, I guess. But I mean, it's not. Does anyone ever believe? Oh, maybe those two are causing more shit. But so pretty much those two have left, and we're with our group of. I already forgot how many fucking people were in there. There's the lead. There's his gal friend. You have his buddy and his girlfriend who stepped on something in the creek. So yeah, I think four people. 37 minutes in. Thankfully, the movie's less than 90 minutes. It's the only good thing to say about it. Oh, we've been walking in a circle, just like in the original. It's the same tree that, this tree that fell down. It's the same log. We're lost. No, we're not lost. Like the original, they just went in a circle. And they keep building up this thing with her foot, so you know it's going to lead to something. With how much time they built it up. And I know I forget. Might be later on. I mean, I was just saying now. There's something in there, and they pull like a piece of branch or something out of her foot. But yeah, I must have just went over my bald head. But why did these people like fake the twig things that they said? Yeah, we faked it. Like, why did they do that? What was the point? We faked it, but there really is something out here. Then don't fake anything, you dumb fuck. That way there's no trouble and you wouldn't be kicked out, you dumb fucks. Now we got the cut on her foot, which is again, folks. When you walk on a stream, don't take your fucking socks and shoes off. Don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. Mm. Maybe this was another thing. Like in the original, we didn't really have gore, so here we can get at least a little bit of gore in there. I know I keep sort of, I know it sounds contradictory, like, what, you want them to do the same thing, but you don't want them to do the same thing. Here's different ways you can do a sequel. You can either tell a very different story, but then just do it well. With maybe some good, interesting characters, maybe a sense of what made the original work, if you want to go in your own directions in your story, your plot, your ideas. This doesn't really do that. None of the characters you don't give a flying fuck about. I dare anyone to remember a single fucking name of any of the characters. what really interesting ideas do you have in the film? Some would say, well, the time thing at the end. Well, you could kind of get that in the original when you could tell you they've been being messed with here. It's like, well, wait a minute, how the hell could that happen? But again, they made it more ambiguous. So if you want to say the time thing, sure. Okay, was that enough to warrant a sequel to be made? Not really. What else? So okay, you don't make a sequel. Either tell a very different story with good characters or development and get some nice mood atmosphere, or at least try to think about what made the original work for people. Or hell, if you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as it's just a good movie, and of course that's subjective, but if you don't have shitty characters, you don't give a fuck about what their names are, you don't have cheap fucking jump scares throughout the flick and loud noises, you don't do a lot of beat for beat stuff, seeing the fucking twigs in the trees, seeing the fucking, you know, go out to the woods, the pan of the car as they're going back. That's the last time they see their car. Then you have a campfire scene. Then they get lost. They walked all day. They're in the same spot. At the end, they find a fucking house and they go the fuck in there and they all die in the house. But the general basis is beat for beat the same. Why should I give you a lot of respect for that? And if you think this is scary, alright, but nothing about this was scary to me. I've either seen this in the original film done better, or it's just annoying, loud jump scares that made my ears bleed. Or they go over the top that doesn't become scary anymore. But I mean, all that's happened here is they looked at the drone, they couldn't find a road, and then it crashed. One guy's out getting wood. I mean, literally. And it's the black guy, so of course he's going to die first. That's true, he does get taken first. I'm not kidding about that. That's not a joke. Which I can't believe they even did. They had to do that fucking cliche. That'd be different. Let him be the last guy, and he actually survives. That'd be different and unique. At least I would something I would appreciate. And what makes this like this guy in the theaters? What makes this different than the other 50 fucking found footage films that were also in the woods, where they turn quickly behind, quickly ahead? Like, so now the guy's running in the woods, smacking the fucking trees and branches and shit. I didn't. I remember when the original Blair Witch came out, people said, "Oh, it's so easy. Anyone could do that." Well, a lot of people have tried to do it, and a lot of them have fucking failed. But and what, like the guy like got killed by getting smacked in the face with a branch. I think he gets like dragged here or something. I mean, this is more like a sequel to The Happening. And he was growling. I don't know what to tell you. He screams and say goodbye to the black man. He's no Danny Glover in Predator 2. He's no Danny Glover. I guess like pretty much a tree fell on him, and then pretty much the director came by and said, "You're gone now, leave," and took his ass away. And then the guy has found our lead guy has found the walkie-talkie. I know I don't mean to be pausing, not saying anything, but I mean when nothing's fucking happening, what the hell do you talk about? Well, I mentioned some found footage films I like. As Above, So Below, The Tunnel, even Cloverfield, Chronicle, Afflicted. Like films I think are much better than this. Bad found footage films where they're a dime a dozen. I mean, Alien Origin is easily one of the worst ones I've seen ever. Like one of the worst films ever. When you get to the third act of Alien Origin, you're not left with anyone that you started. Like the last guy in Alien Origin is some random fucking soldier I swear we did not see in the first hour of the fucking movie. I swear. Monster, which was a silent ripoff of Cloverfield, that's fucking god awful. Bigfoot County. I didn't see the one that Bobby Goldthwait directed, like Willow Creek, but like Bigfoot County, that's really fucking bad. That's one of the worst ones. Because there was like this couple, they get killed by these sadistic yokels, and then the last shot of the movie you see Bigfoot. Area 407, where these people crash their plane and then they get hunted by fucking dinosaurs. You watch the trailer, the last shot of the movie's in the trailer, where the guy shoots the girl, this asshole, and it's daytime, and the dinosaur goes towards the guy. It's in the fucking trailer. That's a piece of shit. Apollo 18, which even the concept of that movie makes zero sense because oh they found this footage. How the fuck do you don't find footage when the ending of the film is a guy's going from the moon to his ship, crashes with the ship. So what? The footage would be destroyed or be floating in outer fucking space. How the hell did the footage get back? And then your build up to moon rocks. Fucking moon rocks. Killer moon rocks. Because the aliens, they hide themselves as moon rocks. Fucking moon rocks. And people know my channel know there's one thing that can destroy moon rocks, and it's Bruce fucking Lee. Only people who watch this channel for a while will get that. Hell, I saw a shitty one recently, The Pyramid. This half man, half jackal, shitty CGI, and fucking CG cats. With these dumbasses trapped in a three-sided pyramid where half the movie's found footage and half the movie isn't because. Just because. And this whole time I'm talking, there's been nothing happening. Just them going, yeah, that guy's lost. Up, look around, there's rustling. And people say, well, nothing happened in the original, but there was a buildup of fucking tension. And these three characters, like, centered on these three characters and how their relationship flutters. That was those two guys, the two people who left. And they say they've been lost for 5 or 6 days, while here's been the same day. So that's where the time thing comes in. Sorry, now I just realized I haven't been talking. Pretty much the blue hair chick's buddy just left her ass. Don't really get why they're not affected at first, but yet these other people are. What, the Blair Witch is selective? Are you within a certain distance you get affected? It's like a cold, a virus. If you're within the vicinity, you might get infected. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of found footage movies. But like I said before, it's because if it's good, it could be really, really good. But if it's bad, it's just like, oh my fucking god. So horrendously bad that. I mean, the original Blair Witch Project, he had a great amount of tension because it was like if you're in a. If you had an abandoned cabin and you're reading this journal and you're reading the last moments of this journal of this person's life. That's what it felt like watching the Blair Witch Project, this sort of methodical build-up of night one, this is the event, then a build-up, the night two, each one kept building up. First it was sounds, then it was like crazier sounds, and then it was rustling and baby noises, and here it's like everything happening in one fucking night or one fucking day. Like the guy gets taken, and then there's the rocks, and then there's the twigs again, and it's like everything's happening so rapidly that rapidly it's like nothing's happening, then everything's happening. It's like there's no sense of pacing to this movie, in my opinion. Of course, this is all my opinion. Doesn't mean you have to share it. And I know there were actually some video games based on Blair Witch back in the day. I want to say there were three of them, maybe two, but for some reason I want to say three. There was one based on the Rustin Parr thing. I forget what the others are. I actually want to check out to see if someone's done video game playthroughs of them. I know when I mentioned this movie, a good guy named Steve, he mentioned the video game. If you're watching, Steve, if you can somehow play those games, I would love to see you play them. I would gladly watch. But I think those are PC games, and I don't know how you can record PC games. But of course, they think she did it. I don't even know what the fuck happened. So because she took the branch and it had her hair on it, and the snap, it kind of snapped her, I guess, in half. But it happened so quickly, I couldn't even fucking. My eyes couldn't maintain what the hell happened. Like, literally, I would have to rewind it to try to give another look. Like, if I blinked, I would have missed it. But I'm assuming she took it and broke it, and then it's made her snap and made her snap because her hair's on it, I guess. Try and be so frenetic with it. As you see, it took me a full fucking while to be like, what the hell happened? Again, I would have to rewind it. Let alone people who saw this in the fucking theater. That's a great way to sell your fucking thing. Maybe if you look at her and it's a wider fucking shot, like maybe the guy's like back here, so you see like the full body go, like the girl goes this and then you go, just a fucking notion I'm having in my head, a crazy one. Hate to say it, even those Grave Encounters movies are better than this fucking film. Like they have some physical stuff going on that is at least some visually interesting things. But yeah, I mean, if I could, I would love to get like a huge pack of found footage movies. Just curiosity to look. Love to be like one of those guys, like the found footage reviewer. Because for some reason, even though there's so many bad ones, I'm so curious about many of these things. And there are hundreds of these fucking movies. Because again, like every once in a while there's a gem. Like one I thought was decent was Apartment 143. Other than the last shot, which was unneeded, it wasn't a downbeat ending, but it was just an unneeded. Anyway, I would get, I would have to talk about the movie in depth to mention why it bothers me. But yeah, overall, Apartment, I think like 143 was pretty decent flick. Again, I mean, even like fake documentaries that are not horror films but thrillers or dramas. Like 84 Charlie Mopic is a Vietnam movie. And it was done well before this. Or Population Zero is sort of a not a horror film, but sort of a drama, but done in a fake documentary. That's interesting. Oh, this is where the girl is now. Okay, she didn't get it from the bottom of her foot; it's from her ankle. This nice effects. I'll give you that. Some nice practical effects. I can give you that. And wait, is that the bottom of her foot? I didn't even tell what the fuck she pulled out. Was it a snake? A bright? Was it a fucking snake or something? Or branch? You should be paying attention. Well, this movie makes it hard for me to do that, man. It's either a branch or a little fucking snake. You know, I don't give a shit which it is. Really don't. But I mean, I guess that's the point of it happening one night is that they say that the sun never comes up. Was that kind of doesn't fit with the original movie. That didn't happen in the original movie, which I thought was kind of better because it gave this false sense of hope and false sense of security. Where like false sense of hope, but then it's like nope, dash, dash, still trapped, still trapped. That's because you gotta have moments of taking a breath, and then you go on with it. Then you have moments of taking a breath, then you go with it. If you try to go on too long with tension, it just becomes tiresome and rather boring. Because how many times can you have someone go, ah? How many? But apparently, The Blade Destroyer is one of the scariest movies of all time. All time. The original, I'll give you. I can say yeah, but not this movie. These two are looking at each other as if fucking love song's gonna play any second now. So is the camera on his fucking forehead? Because it's looking directly in her eyes. I forget where the hell he put his camera at. It was like right here. Maybe it was like one of those things. But the other felt like, okay, as above, so below. Why did I like the film? I thought the characters were a little bit more interesting. The idea of the archaeology, the location of being underground in Paris with the real life skulls and the catacombs had a bit of the stuff you've seen before in movies like Event Horizon, or there's been other movies before that where your fears will haunt you, your past sins might haunt you. I mean, there's plenty of films that did that before Event Horizon, let alone As Above, So Below. But I like that idea. Had a unique ending considering the found footage format that usually the endings are. It was a little bit different. I thought some of the scenarios were interesting. Like anyway, I don't want to get too much into review for other movies while I'm doing this, but like the tunnel, I thought it was like I guess sort of the original concept of the Blair Witch Project, the 1999 film, is it was going to be people being interviewed and then showing the footage, like the film that the people said ripped off the last broadcast. The last broadcast people said the Blair Witch Project ripped it off, wanted to sue or whatever. At least they were thinking of suing. But I'm sorry, the last broadcast was a piece of shit. With a narrator that caffeine was made for, because he would make me fall asleep. He was the most snooze inducing narrator in history. I hate the last broadcast. And it had a last scene which was so nonsensical. Extremely nonsensical. Which I won't spoil for those who want to see it, but the last broadcast I fucking hated. I'm like, I'm glad the guys in the Blair Witch Project ripped it off and they made a better fucking movie. And then I'm glad that they didn't do the half found footage, half documentary, because I think the full footage helped with that movie. The tunnel, on the other hand, I thought it did that effectively. You know, good location. This whole scene is just a woman going up to get the drone, which I don't know why. Something grabs her, she falls down, she gets dragged away. Body counts in the house, body count, body count, body count, body count. With a jump steer, because that's scary. Just because you go, ugh, doesn't mean it's, quote, scary. I mean, maybe technically you got scared for a second, but I guess that's not horror. Maybe that's what I meant. Maybe it could be scary, but it's not horror. Because anybody can just go up and say, a loud fucking noise. I mean, that'd be like saying the Jackass films are horror films or scary films because they could go boop ah shit and scare their friends. So I mean, technically, yes, it's scaring people, but A, it doesn't work for me. because they do it so many fucking times you see it coming a mile away. And when you do it so many times, it gets repetitive. And it's just cheap and not earned. And it's not anything I give respect to or anything. And I think we're already getting to the finale of the film. Like the last 10, 15 minutes of movies in this house. Just like the finale of the original was in the house. And I just felt like there was no like even journey. Like there was no journey like the original film. Like in the original film, there was an actual journey with day after day and this buildup of dread. You know, each night getting worse and worse and worse, and it's this sort of elevating thing, and that's why it worked. Here, because it's never going to be daytime, which is the idea. I keep saying, it should do stuff differently. It's doing something differently. I understand that, but it's just they don't make it effective. Like they don't make an effective movie out of it. So maybe that's why it doesn't really make me give a fuck. And there's so many elements that they take from the original that for me it overshadows any attempts at something new. Like, oh wow, we just saw a person standing in the fucking corner. Though you have the rusted part, but are there other parts of the legend of the Blair Witch to look into and discover? And of course, the other question, did a sequel ever need to be made? Not really. You didn't really need a sequel to Blair Witch Project. But to me, if you don't make a sequel, like I said, start off with our girl in the middle of the road or on the side of the road, dirty, muddy, and all that. It's like, who's this? Oh shit. It's Heather Donahue. Where has she been? What's happened? What's going to happen next? Boom, you have intrigue. And then you can go in whatever directions. But here, just him looking around. Oh, there's hands on the walls, like the ending of the first one. Person stay in the corner, like the ending of the first one. I just don't feel anything. I don't feel tension. I don't feel scares. I don't feel anything other than wanting this movie to fucking end. And to me, this is just another, I don't say typical, but it's just another found footage movie that the only reason it got in the theaters was because it was called Blair Witch. If it was called any one of these other number ones, like, what the hell was the one called? I mean, why there's been so fucking many of them. I think there's one called like hashtag streamers or something. One called, sorry, now my brain is failing me. It's like my brain cells are trying to delete from my head. Because we had the girl looking. She made the kind of smart choice to leave. I mean, to stay out of the house. Oh, we see something. Screeching. And some people would say, well, that's not the witch. That was like when Heather in the original, when she screamed, what the fuck is that? That's what it was. So within the story, what would that be? The Blair Witch's sister? Linda? Hey, it's Linda and Blair. Like, who the hell else would it be? Like, that's why in the original it made sense to not see it. But, you think of whatever the hell it was. Here, it just makes me think, oh, that's what the Blair. I think that's what a lot of people would think. Oh, they just show what the Blair Witch looks like. Okay, great. Looks like someone the Slender Man wants to sleep with. And then of course she goes in the house like an idiot. But I just like, well, it's outside. She wants to be inside. And the inside the spooky house in the middle of fucking nowhere. But now she's in the basement, looking around. Can't see shit. And that one guy. And the one guy who they've seen before goes crazy, and he's got like a bit more hair and mud on him, so you tell he's been out there a lot longer. Again, I don't know why you really needed this character in the movie. It doesn't really do anything for the story. Doesn't really do anything for the plot, really. Just makes it longer than it needs to. There's nothing really interesting or intriguing that comes out of it that I can think of. I'm trying to think of the last found footage movie that came to theaters. Yeah, those Paranormal Activity films, which I'm not really a fan of them. Couldn't get into any of them honestly. Like certain moments, ideas, like Paranormal Activity 3, having it be in the 80s and the old school cameras and like having one on the fan that goes back and forth. Interesting ideas, but just, the movies and again, like when 99% of them have the same typical ending, they mix it up more often. I think people appreciate that. I really do. Then you have the sequence where she goes in through this narrow tunnel that really steered the shit apparently out of fucking some critics, which I don't know why. I guess I mean, sure in real life, yeah. I don't know. She just there's like there. It's not a found footage movie, but there's literally a movie that I think the entire film is this like crawl bitch crawl or something. I swear it's called like that, like crawl bitch crawl or something. I think my friend Michael Keane reviewed it. Like Crawl or Die, but like an alternate title was Crawl Bitch Crawl. I forget what the actual title is. Hmm. But again, I don't really see what's scary about it. She's just stuck in a tunnel as if it's Winnie the Pooh. Getting stuck trying to get honey. Now I'm just thinking of the Winnie the Pooh music. Breathe? No, don't breathe. Well, that was another movie. We're an hour and 15 minutes in an hour and 29-minute movie. So yeah, and then plus you have end credits. So yeah, we don't have much left of this movie actually. Thank you. Thank goodness. But I mean, just no amount of subtlety. It just everything the original did well. This one negated or said don't do that. Don't have any amount of atmosphere. Ambiance, ambiguity. Again, like let's show more. Let's have more jump scares, loud noises, bigger body count. Let's show some blood and I was gonna say they showed the witch, or someone who works for the witch, whatever the fuck it was. Again, I dare people to remember what the fuck the names of these characters are without looking it up. Hmm. And then this whole thing coming up where, oh, don't look at her. If you don't look, you'll be safe. I'm like, that's why people looked in the corner. What? What are people talking about? So now she kills the one guy. So again, it's like, what the fuck was the point of him in the movie? There's no point other than the length and the running time. And of course, this shows the footage from the beginning. It wasn't Heather, it was her. That's where you get the time thing. Thank God she was wearing a very similar hat that Heather was wearing. Oh, we get to show it again. Show the creature again. Yeah, because that's what we need to see. Because we're living the generation of show, show, show. Tell, 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 tell. Today, Junior. Actually, wait a minute. She's not wearing a hat. Then how come in the other footage it looked like she was wearing a hat, but here there's no hat? But I swear in the footage, am I just fucking on LSD, or as another person would say, LDS? Wasn't the character wearing a hat at the beginning of the film in that footage, freeze frame? But yet there's no hat here. Am I just making shit up, maybe? Movies maybe fucking with my brain. But yeah, let's get some, white light as if the fucking aliens are coming. Is this fire in the sky? Don't turn around. That's not even how the story worked. And with Rustin Parr, it was the Rustin Parr is the one who made a kid look in the corner, and then he grabbed one and took one and then killed him. So I don't know why he came up with this. We can't look directly at her. This isn't Clash of the fucking Titans. It's not Darkness Falls. Well, actually, Darkness Falls doesn't do that. That was Stay in the Light. Never mind. What wasn't the movie? You can't look at them. The the bitch in Clash of the Titans. What was another movie that you can't look? If you look, you die. I'm sure there are. I can't think of any right now, though. Of course, the guy looked because he's so obsessed with his sister. I mean, common sense would go, of course, that's not her. And the last character is not even what was supposed to be the main guy, the brother. It's just his gal that we learned nothing with. We didn't even start the movie with. We kind of did, but we know absolutely nothing about this character. Like Heather, you learned that she wanted to be in control. She thought she was in control when she really wasn't. Her apology scene that she realized how wrong she was for what happened. For Show us again. Well, obviously that's supposed to be the Blair Witch. What the fuck else would it be? So I'm sorry, people. Oh, that's not the Blair Witch. Then what the fuck is it? Her grandma? So her mother? Her father? Her motherfucker? Like, what is it? Thank God we know what the Blair Witch looks like, because we need to fucking know what she looked like. The Rake! Or whatever the fuck else. Some other damn thing. We already know you're dead, because 99% of these movies end with you dead, so just end the movie already. For fuck's sake. End it! Fucking already. Now why are you looking, you dumb fucking bitch? You just saw he got tricked too, and you fell for the same fucking trick. And last shot, it falls to the camera just like the last shot of the original fucking movie. Is the Blair Witch Stone picked up and doing an apology too? I'm sorry for this movie. Fuck you, Adam Wingard. Full of hot air and windy. Simon Barrett, fuck you too, man. Shitty script. Roy Lee, Steven Schneider, fuck you too. Producer Keith Calder and Jess Calder, fuck you guys. Jenny Henke, executive producer, kiss my ass. Executive producers, well, they got paid because they worked on the original. DP, what fucking DP? Everyone filmed fucking with their own camera. Edited, shitty editing, Lewis. Costume designer, who gives a fuck about the costumes? Music by Adam Wingard, there shouldn't be any fucking music in it. Fucked up on the music too. And you're a co-producer? Wow, you sucked a lot. Give a fuck. Take a shit. You take a shit on Blair Witch. Take all this fucking money and you waste it and could give us, I don't know, maybe, how about feature-length documentary on the making of the original film? A full-blown, like, Blu-ray of that. I think that would have been money more well spent. Better spent than this BS. Making a wannabe fucking remake that's a sequel instead of giving us like a good special edition Blu-ray with a full documentary of the original. Can't do that. And you call Blair Witch like a lazy fucking title. Blair Bitch. Blair Bitch Book of Shudders. Book of Flutters. Book of Bastards. Fuck all these guys, man. Production manager. Manage your ass back to unemployment. Executive in charge of production, Donna Sloan. Sure fucking fired everybody then. Creative executives? Bullshit. There's nothing creative about this movie. Fucking false advertising. Sound designer and supervising sound editor. So are you the reasons why my fucking ears bled the first time I saw this fucking movie? And yet I know I didn't pay fucking money the first time I saw this. Here I paid 50 cents. And you're not even worth that. All these fucking people for stunt doubles. Stunt double, stunt double, stunt double, stunt double. Everyone had a fucking... The fucking Blair Witch had a stunt double. Stunt double Blair Witch slash stunts. Blair Witch arm double. So it even says the fucking arm, like that is the Blair Witch. The fucking end credits says it's the Blair Witch. So people who say it's not, the end credits just fucking told you otherwise. They even told you it was the Blair Witch. When the girl got the fucking drone, the arm that came out was the Blair Witch. Thank God the Blair Witch is the Rake. If you don't know what the Rake is, you go online. Like, people played video games based on the Rake. It's, I forget what the fuck you call it. Kind of like Slender Man, that type of thing. All these fucking people. Wasting their time making a fucking movie like this. Pissing on Blair Witch Project. Just getting tired of all this shit. Like Terminator Genesis, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and The Last Shithead, The Last Jedi. The RoboCop remake, the Michael Bay Super Chud Ninja Turtle movies, Total Recall, Lens Flare the movie, the remake. Total Recall remake, I'm sorry, it is pretty much Lens Flare the movie. Red Dawn remake must be Red Yawn. Or Red Dawns. This is what you feel like you're sucking when you're watching this shit. Location manager Terry LA. Well, I wish you were like Terry and just fucking destroyed the whole thing with your telekinetic powers. Post production. Dan Creamer. Yeah, I got some fucking cream for everybody. This fucking shit joint. Outpost operator, outpost system supervisor. For Lionsgate. Oh, thank God we got Motion Picture Group co-chairman of Lionsgate. Thank God. Kiss their ass more. Eric Feed, or your brother Paul Feed, did the shitty Ghostbusters. Another piece of shit. Ghostbusters. 2016 or whatever. Did the same year as this piece of shit came out. Christ. How many times do we have to fuck around? Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Robocop, Transformers, Blair Witch, Alien with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, Predators, and the upcoming piece of shit Predator movie. How many times do they have to fuck over the old before people say enough is enough? Special thanks to Joshua Leonard. Oh, Michael Williams. But not Heather Donahue? Oh, so the game they were playing was Borderlands 2. Great. Motion Picture Miracone Picture Association of Assholes. Lionsgate. Date should be a fucking prison and lock your ass up for this bullshit. Blair Bitch 2016. Well, I don't know what the fuck more I can say. This movie fucking sucks ass. Doesn't know anything about the original film. No steers, no subtlety, no characters, no depth. Just cheap jack horse shit. Jump scares, copying the original, or fucking up the original. Yeah, let's show what the Blair Witch is. So fuck ambiguity, fuck anything. Yeah, because I really want to know what the fuck the Blair Witch looks like. This movie's so shitty that special features are bookmarks and also from Lionsgate. Even the makers of the film were embarrassed to talk about this fucking movie. And yeah, I could fucking predict this film was gonna bomb, and it did, because either people hate the original and they don't want to see it, or people who like the original, they don't want to see a fucking sequel that looked like a fucking remake based on the trailer. And I called it. I called it back when before it came out. I said this is gonna be a wannabe remake. I think I said Blair Witch 3, because technically it's the third one. There was Blair Witch 2, and then this. I did a fucking video. I said it was going to be a wannabe remake. People said I was wrong. People said, well, you gotta wait. You gotta watch it. How fucking wrong was I? It was a wannabe remake, just like I fucking said. From going to the woods, panning the camera on the car the last time they see the car, to having the rocks around, the twigs in the trees. See a little bit of them hanging out. Like in the original, when they're getting groceries or here at a club, people get taken and lost. They go in a fucking circle in a day. The last fucking scene, they find a fucking house with handprints. Someone's looking in a fucking corner. They have and there's all this other bullshit. Oh, look at the corner. She can't hurt you. So is that what Mike was doing at the end of the original? He was looking in the corner so it doesn't hurt him. And then yeah, let's see the Blair Witch look like a bald bitch. Hate this fucking movie. So I don't know what more I can say about it. I got a headache now. Yeah, I got a headache now, so I need to leave. Fuck this and